Welcome back again to Apache Kafka series. In the previous video, we have started coding the consumer client. As you can see on the screen, we have written the Kafka consumer config and some error handling deserializer and also the consumer error handler. In this video, we are going to continue with the service. But before then, there is a little thing that I want us to fix. That is, if you can see here, we are getting a warning. This actually happens because here we can assume that it is parameterized, and when we go to this class that we implement, actually it should take any type. So these classes are all parameterized. And then also the method here, it returns any type here, T. So after this, I think all the warnings also here are gone. And if we are to go back to our class, there you see even the warning here is gone. Next, let's create a package. And then after connecting to Kafka, then it will consume the messages. We will create an interface, and that our interface will have like just a single method is enough for now. We are going for interface, and let's call it consumer interface or consumer service. Then in this consumer service, we can have a method, and that method can be like let's say we call the method only consume, so that it will just consume a message, nothing else, and it will take like the consumer record, which will be like let's say consumer record, and then the consumer record will have our key and our message view. Then let's call it consumer record. Then we will also have our message view here. So now let's create an implementation of this class. Let's say we have an implementation that it's like a message message consumer service implementation, and the purpose of this message consumer service implement, the purpose of this is for the consumer service. For now, we are just going to have our service annotation and then our also login annotation. Then in this service, we are going to make it a listener, a Kafka listener. There is an annotation called Kafka listener. Then from this Kafka listener, we can give the topic that we want to be consumed. So let's say topic, and here topics can be a list of topics, because as we discussed in the previous video, a consumer can connect to more than one topic and consume from there. The only thing that you have to make sure those topics, like here, I'm expecting message view, then those topics should be also providing message view to this listener. Otherwise, it will break. So here we already have our topic that we created right from the beginning, the Kafka series -1 topic. We are going to consume from this topic, and also we will give our container factory. The container factory is the container that we created in our config here. Where is our container factory? So we have KafkaListener container factory here. So we are going to give this container factory to the interface or to the listener. So this is enough for now. One other thing we can add an annotation here, like at payload, to tell the listener that this is the message we are expecting. So now our listener is also ready to listen from Kafka. So here let's log a message, because for now we are not going to connect to any database or anything to do something. So we will just log info here, that we received, we can say from the consumer record, we have let's get our topic, and then from the also consumer record we can get our partition, then sorry, our partition from the consumer record, partition, then we can print also our message here to see what we got. So this is enough for our listener for testing purpose or for demonstration purpose. Then apart from this, we don't need anything else. Now it's for us to test our application to see that we are getting messages from Kafka. So how do we do that? The thing we'll do previously, we have configured, we have installed and configured our zookeepers and Kafka. So let's start the zookeeper now. For example, if you remember, my zookeeper was in the tools directory here. I have Kafka and zookeeper directory. So from the zookeeper, first zookeeper, let's say, then we have zk server, and then here we can just start the first one, and now started. Then we can also start the second zookeeper, the second one, let's see, also started. Then the third zookeeper, okay, and then all the zookeepers are ready. Now if we are to check the status, let's say, of the third zookeeper, let's see, it is a follower. Then let's open another tab again, go to the same directory, and now let's start Kafka also, the first Kafka. And then, you know, for Kafka we have Kafka server start sh, and we want to run it as daemon, as we did in the previous video. And then here we also have to give the config directory part. So we have the config, sorry, the server property part. So we have server property. So we start the first Kafka, and then we also start the second Kafka now, Kafka node, the second one. Let's change the directory. Then we start the second node, and then the third node. So the third node now. Okay, now our Kafka cluster is ready, and then the zookeeper also is ready, or the zookeeper ensemble is ready. So let's go back again, and previously, before the consumer client video, we have written our producer client video. So now we are going to use both of them. The producer will produce to Kafka, and the consumer will listen and consume from Kafka. So let's say let me open the producer application. So now I'm opening the producer application. Now this is our producer. You remember it, previously we wrote this producer, and in the port we have 1990, so we don't have any problem. So let's start the producer application. So now our application started on port 1990. So let's also go to our consumer application here and start the application. That is the application we just wrote now. Start the application. Okay, let's start it from here. Run in debug mode also. Okay. Our application is starting. We got an error. What is the error? Let's see. Okay, we forgot to close this property value. So let's go to our config. In our config here, okay, you say this is not closed, so we also have to close it. This is closed, this is closed. So let's start it again. Good. Now our also consumer application has started on port 1991, and you can see it connects to Kafka series, and partition assigned to it. So you see Also partition, this partition 0 is assigned because we only now have one partition on our topic. So that partition is assigned to this consumer. And the consumer is Kafka, the group is Kafka series, and the partition assigned to this group or to this consumer now that is just alone is this Kafka series -1-0. -1 is the topic name, -0 that is the complete partition name. So now our also consumer is ready, our producer is ready. Now let's clear the logs so that when we send a message, we will see that both the consumer and producer consume the message. So now let's go to our Postman client for testing. Okay, this is our Postman client. If you remember previously, we used this to send a message to Kafka, and by then we consume the message using console client, the consumer console client. Now we are expecting the message to come to our client that we wrote. So our client will read the message, and we are sending the message through the producer, and we will consume the message through the consumer we have written. So now both the consumer and producer are ready. So let's send the message then. Our message before was this, so but let's just change it. Now we are done. So we're gonna send and receive our message through the clients we have written. Yes, we have written. Yeah, so yeah, smiley face. Okay, now we send the message with ID, let's say ID 5. So yeah, now we are sending the message and we see it is 200. Okay, yeah, our consumer now received the event. You see, this is our consumer client. So this is the log we wrote here in the service. You see, receive event with topic, then our topic, Kafka series 1, partition 0, payload. This is our message view. You see, this is our ID. Wonderful. And this is our message. Now we are done. We're gonna send message. We're gonna send and receive our message through the client we have written. So this is wonderful, really. It's really great. So you can see now we are able to send and receive, or to produce and receive. The producer part is just a log, like a message was sent to topic. You say this is the log we wrote also in the producer. So message was sent to topic, this topic to partition 0 successfully. So this is the end of consumer client 2. If you have any question, can send me a message. I hope this will also benefit someone out there. Thank you very much. See you, or waiting for you in the next video.